Welcome to our series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today, Siddhi Day, Part 1. Introduction. There have been many inspired talks on Siddhi Day, and I could not hope to give one that has the depth of beauty and knowledge I have heard from others. This, therefore, is my humble offering from the words of the Mother and from those who were there at the moment of this most extraordinary event in the history of the world. From the Mother. In 1926, I had begun a sort of overmental creation, said the Mother. That is, I had brought the overmind down in matter, here on earth. Miracles and all kinds of things were beginning to happen. I asked all the gods to incarnate, to identify themselves with the body on earth. Some of them absolutely refused. Well, with my very own eyes, I saw Krishna, who had always been in rapport with Sri Aurobindo, consent to come down into his body. It was on 24 November, and it was the beginning of Mother. Before then, he used to go out on the veranda every day to meet and talk with all who came to see him. I was living in the inner rooms and seeing no one. He was going out onto the veranda, seeing everyone, receiving people, speaking, discussing. I saw him only when he came back inside. After a while, I too began having meditations with people. I had begun a sort of overmental creation to make each god descend into a being on earth. There was an extraordinary upward curve. Well, I was in contact with these beings, and I told Krishna, because I was always seeing him around Sri Aurobindo, this is all very fine, but what I want now is a creation on earth. You must incarnate. He said, yes. Then I saw him. I saw him with my own eyes, inner eyes, of course, join himself to Sri Aurobindo. Then I went into Sri Aurobindo's room and told him, this is what I have seen. Yes, I know, he replied. That's fine. I have decided to retire to my room, and you will take charge of the people. You take charge. There were about 30 people at the time. I never heard Sri Aurobindo tell me about those things, Kali and Krishna. I know there was something of Krishna. He told me so, and I saw it. It was what I saw, and he confirmed it. He told me. There was even a day when he felt Krishna in him, and then he hadn't withdrawn yet at the time. He would see everyone. He saw people. That was when he would see Pavitra and the others. That was the time of the evening talks between 1923 and 1926. And then he called everyone on November 24th, 1926, sat in the veranda of that house, above the ashram's entrance, sat there, had me sit beside him, and called everyone. Then he said, I have resolved to withdraw from activity. She will be your mother and will. He named me officially. Then he withdrew to his room. As for me, I worked in what is now prosperity. But at the time, he felt Krishna in him. That's why he withdrew. From Sri Aurobindo's letters. Krishna is not the supramental light. The descent of Krishna would mean the descent of the overmind Godhead, preparing, though not itself actually bringing, the descent of the supermind and Ananda. Krishna is the Anandamaya. He supports the evolution through the overmind, leading it towards his Ananda. Disciple. I believe that on 24th November, Sri Aurobindo realized that the mother is the divine consciousness and force. Sri Aurobindo. No, I knew that long before. Disciple. Ever since I came here this time, I've been experiencing a very intense atmosphere, a very strong pressure, similar in intensity and depth to what I felt in 1926, months of October to December. It appears to me that the supermind is about to descend a second time. Is this an entirely wrong feeling on my part, or is there some truth in it, if not the full truth? Sri Aurobindo. There is some truth in it, but the descent in 1926 was rather of the overmind, not of the supermind proper. Disciple. The significance of the 24th November. Today I shall request you to stand and deliver on a different subject. What is exactly the significance of the 24th of November? Different people have different ideas about it. Some say that the avatar of the supramental plane descended in you. Sri Aurobindo. Rubbish. Whose imagination was that? Disciple. Others say that you were through and through over-mentalized. Sri Aurobindo. Well, it is not quite the truth, but nearer to the mark. Disciple. I myself understood that on that day you achieved the supermind. Sri Aurobindo. There was never any mention of that from our side. Disciple. If you did not achieve the supermind at that time, how is it possible for you to talk about it or know anything about it? Sri Aurobindo. Well, I'm hanged. You can't know anything about a thing before you have achieved it? Because I have seen it and am in contact with it, O logical baby that you are. But achieving it is another business.